The threat of this enemy has already caused immeasurable tragedies.
Amber Heard's father has been accused of threatening to shoot Johnny Depp during the ex-couple's nasty divorce and legal battles.
I just want to say thank you so much to all of my online supporters and my fans. Thank you so much for everything that you do to support me. I know it ain't easy sometimes, but I appreciate it. But also, sorry for the death threats.
Johnny Depp got death threats from Amber Heard's father. David Kilacki claims he did work on both Amber and Johnny's classic cars. Specifically, he made several modifications to Amber Heard's classic Mustang. After the couple's split, Kilacki claims Amber became abusive towards him and her father made death threats towards Johnny Depp in a phone call to him.
I did start a physical fight.
Yeah, you did, so I had to get the fuck out of there.
Yes, you did. So you did the right thing, the big thing. You know what? You are admirable.
Kilacki, who owns Performance Allison Transmissions, has been featured on episodes of Jay Leno's Garage and Overhaulin'. After Heard and Depp split, Kilacki claims he told Amber that all automotive work being done would need to be paid directly instead of going through Depp's management. A declaration by David Kilacki was filed in the defamation case filed in Virginia by Johnny Depp against Amber Heard. In his documents, Kilacki says, "The reply I received what can only be described as an extremely hostile response from Amber. I did my best to convey to her that I did not wish to get in the middle of the dispute between her and Mr. Depp. She did not receive this information very well. Her first reaction was to verbally abuse me with expletives, threats, and a continued rant over what she claimed was an unfortunate financial downturn of her personal finances caused by Mr. Depp. He's blackballing my baby girl's career." He says Amber stated that there was a legal agreement between herself and Mr. Depp drawn by their attorneys and signed by both parties. She said in this agreement, Mr. Depp was responsible for paying her bills and that if I expected payment, then I should forward bills to Mr. Depp, he said in the legal filing. "The final phone conversation I had with her was very unpleasant for me. I had had enough of the verbal abuse and threats and decided to no longer respond to the attempted text and phone calls from Miss Heard," Kilacki says. In the legal filing, Kilacki claims he then had a conversation with Amber Heard's father that turned threatening. During the attempt to facilitate the repairs, modifications, and additions to the Mustang, I received many text messages and phone calls from Amber's father, Mr. David Heard. After the separation of Amber and Mr. Depp, Mr. Heard became very bitter towards Mr. Depp, he claimed. During the phone call, Kilacki claimed, "I told Mr. Heard that it sounded to me like he was drunk. He said, 'Yeah, maybe I am, and I'm going to shove that whiskey bottle up your ass.' I strongly advised him to stop making death threats about Johnny and threats of violence against me." In the end, Kilacki says he reported what Mr. Heard had threatened, advising him to report it to Mr. Depp's attorney. He assured me that he would have been raised by a deputy sheriff homicide detective I knew to take such threats seriously. Johnny Depp's lawyer, Adam Waldman, says his client believes one of the main objectives was money. Mr. Kilacki's chilling first-hand experience with Amber Heard and her family exposes the motive behind Amber Heard's abusive hoax: money. Money is where Amber Heard moved her sister and 4 other co-conspirators into Johnny Depp's multi-million-dollar penthouse rent-free. Money is why Amber Heard chopped Mr. Depp's finger off with a thrown vodka bottle the day his attorneys asked her to sign a post-nuptial agreement. He continues, "Money is why Amber Heard ambushed Mr. Depp with an abuse hoax the day he informed her he was divorcing her. Money is why Amber Heard's PR/legal team sent Mr. Depp an extortion letter prior to placing her hoax on the cover of People magazine. Money is why Amber Heard's father threatened to kill Johnny Depp." She continued, "Mr. Depp has made it clear that his strategy is to try to run out the clock during the holiday season so that Miss Heard is unable to obtain critical evidence and testimony to corroborate her defenses to the baseless defamation suit he filed against her." While Mr. Depp would like the trial to be a he said she said contest of his own skills as an actor, Miss Heard, who would prefer that the case be about the truth of what really happened, has asked the court for a relatively brief 2-month continuance to give her time to obtain the evidence that Mr. Depp has stubbornly resisted producing. Johnny Depp was given death threats by Amber Heard's father, David Heard, as claimed by David Kilaki. The feud between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard is only intensifying by the day, leaving fans of both the stars in a frenzy on how the matter will settle. As per the latest development in the case, The Blast has revealed that Johnny was given death threats by Amber's father, David Heard, as claimed by David Kilaki, who worked on the former couple's classic cars. The insider cites that Amber had become abusive towards the Pirates of the Caribbean star, while her father made death threats to him over a phone call. Kilaki had also filed a declaration for the ongoing defamation suit between the two stars, where he is documented to have stated, "The reply I received what can only be described as an extremely hostile response from Amber. I did my best to convey to her that I did not wish to get in the middle of the dispute between her and Mr. Depp." She did not receive this information very well. Her first reaction was to verbally abuse me with expletives, threats, and a continued rant over what she claimed was an unfortunate financial turndown of her personal finances caused by Mr. Depp. At one point, she said, "You're me," he added. He went on to further detail the threats that were hurled towards Johnny, as he said, "During the attempt to facilitate the repairs, modifications, and additions to the Mustang, I received many text messages and phone calls from Amber's father, Mr. David Heard. After the separation of Amber and Mr. Depp, Mr. Heard became very bitter towards Mr. Depp. That expletive piece of is me too, because I'm supposed to get 10% of the money, and without it, I can't produce the movie I was gonna make. He was ruining my baby girl's career and blackballing her in Hollywood," Kilaki claims to have heard Amber's father say. It was revealed further that David Heard had also stated that he hails from Texas and carries .45s, with Johnny meeting the end of mine. Amber Heard's father reportedly threatened to shoot Johnny Depp as he continues to sue his ex-wife for $50 million. The Pirates of the Caribbean star is suing his ex-wife for $50 million over a piece she wrote for the Washington Post about being a victim of domestic violence. Depp argues it was strongly inferred he was the perpetrator, even though he wasn't named in the article, while Heard has been trying to get the suit dismissed. Included in his evidence submissions is a declaration from a man who worked on both of their cars, who told how the Aquaman star became abusive towards him and alleged her dad made death threats towards the 56-year-old actor in a phone call. David Kilaki, who owns Performance Allison Transmissions and worked on classic cars owned by both Amber and Johnny, said in a declaration obtained by The Blast, "The reply I received what can only be described as an extremely hostile response from Amber. I did my best to convey to her that I did not wish to get in the middle of the dispute between her and Mr. Depp. She did not receive this information very well." Adam Waldman said, "Mr. Kilaki's chilling first-hand experience with Amber Heard and her family exposes the motive behind Amber Heard's abuse hoax: money. Money is why Amber Heard moved her sister and 4 other co-conspirators into Johnny Depp's multi-million-dollar penthouses rent-free. Money is why Amber Heard chopped Mr. Depp's finger off with a thrown vodka bottle the day his attorneys asked her to sign a post-nuptial agreement. The Danish Girl star's team have not commented on the alleged remarks. The defamation lawsuit is due to go to trial in August next year, having been delayed by 6 months after Johnny failed to provide court-ordered records related to his drug and alcohol intake.